Parshas Mishpatim. We are in the third reading. Let's get right into it. Laws, civil laws, damages, and other types of stuff going on over here. Okay. We're at chapter 22, verse number 4. Ki yaver ish sode. When a person will um, so it's a new word, yaver. A man will take his into someone's field. It will take an animal into someone else's field, or kerem, or a vineyard. The shilach is be'irai. Shilach means it was like sent to kind of like you in someone else's field, right? And it did damage. It doesn't say damage over here, but that's what it means, right? Acher meitav sadehu meitav karmeo yishalem. So a person has to make he has to make good. And he pays with the best of his field or the best of his vineyard. Let's see Rashi, number 4. Yaber is beira or beer. So, actually, the word beer means the animal, not to take. Rashi is beira or beer. See, it's actually, you see, it's got the word twice in here. So Rashi says, so kulam lashon behema. All of them are an expression of an animal. Like we had this actually previously. Yeah, it's not the first time. No, it's later. In okay. Yavir, when a person will lead, means yoilich behemta besoda v'kerem shel chaver. So Rashi, in the verse, it's not very clear what it means. It means, so Rashi says, when you lead an animal into someone's field or vineyard of your friend, and he will damage in one of two ways. Either by sending the animal or through its consuming. Okay. So, and our sages, they explain, kaf regel. So, shilach means you sent it. So what does it mean you sent it? It's an unusual term, right? That's why I was trying to be like, I'm trying to do it with the original words, what they mean. And then Rashi's giving us the context over here. What do you mean you sent? What does it mean you sent? It means the animal trampled, right? Well, that's what it means, v'shilach. You let loose the animal, you send the animal, so to speak, by letting it loose, and it refers to damages by trampling underfoot. Or beer, that's what shilach means. So what does beer mean? So beer means that it grazed. What does it mean it grazed? It means it ate. It consumed food on someone else's property. Right? So you did damage someone else's property, whether you stepped on on the flower bed or ate from the produce. The animal did, right? B'stei acher, in another field, b'soda shel ish acher, in a field that belongs to someone else. Yishalim, you have to pay. What do you have to pay? Meitav sadehu, from the best of his field. Shamin is a nezek. So what do? You have to assess the damage. Now, if the owner of the animal which did the damage, he's coming to pay the victim the value of the damage of the land, he should pay from the best of his fields. Meaning, if the damage was worth a sela, then he has to give a seller's worth of the highest quality of land. There are three different qualities of land: lowest, middle, and highest. Here you have to give, the Torah is telling us very clearly, from the best quality of your land. This teaches us clearly that when you do damage in someone else's property, you have to pay with the highest quality of land. So that's what the verse is clearly saying. The question I'm curious about what it means to pay with money. Biblically, it sounds like you have to pay with land as opposed to money. Can a person give money instead? Okay, next kind of damage. Say when a fire will go out and it finds thorns, right? Meaning it spread. Matzah means it found, meaning it spread, and it found thorns. V'nechal gadish, and it consumed a gadish, which is what's Rashi gonna say? No, yeah, means like a I don't know.
Pile.
Yeah, I guess a pile. Oy hakama, or standing grain. Hakama means just standing, but like a standing grain. Soda, or a field. Shalom yishalom. Pay, he shall pay. Hamavir es be'era, someone who's kindled. Mavir means someone who kindled the fire, right? By the way, if you look before, we had the word be'era. It's spelt the same. Base ayin reish, and here it's the same thing. Base ayin reish, but here it means to kindle a fire. Interesting. Okay, let's see Rashi. He says it's when a fire will go forth, even if it goes, what does it mean? Why? What do you mean it goes forth? It sounds like no one did it. Meaning, and that's what Rashi points out. Even if it came from your property on its own, right? You didn't even ignite it to be liable for the fire on your property that now consumed someone else's property and did damage. And it found thorns in Old French, chardons. V'nechal gadish, and a stack. It consumed a stack or grain that was standing crop in the field. Shilchacha b'kaitzim ad she'egiu legadish. In other words, it first kind of consumed the thorns until it reached a stack of grain. Or standing grain. Aha. Okay, so the pile is from grain that you threshed, that you already took from the field, or standing grain that it burnt up the grain that's on the field. Or a field is near, that it scorched a plowed field. It's linear, and he has to plow it now a second time. It's a pam shniya. Right. In other words, the damage is only that now you have to plow it again, not that it's permanently damaged like the crop. Shilam yishalami hamabir. So the one who kindled the fire shall surely pay. He shall pay. Even though he lit the fire in his own property, which that you could do, right? And it went out on its own because of the thorns that it found. Chayv l'shalom, one's obligated to pay. Lefi, why? Because he wasn't careful that the burning coal should not develop into a fire that went out of his property and did damage. So you're responsible, right? You make summertime, you make a fire in your backyard. Like, wait a minute, make a fire in your backyard. You're responsible if it goes out. Okay, Vav 6. When he will give a man el re'eu to his friend kesef, silver, meaning a silver object, or kalim, or an object, any kind of object, lishmor, in order to guard. Here we're going into the 4 guardians. Lishmor, to guard it. Beguna bebesaish, and it was stolen from the person's house, who's the guardian. If you find the thief, then the thief has to pay double. Rashi in 6, Gunav bebesaish was stolen from the house of the person who's guardian. The fi dvorav, meaning, how does Rashi get that? In other words, that's according to the guardian. The guardian said it was stolen, right? The shomer. If the thief will be found, so the thief now has to pay double, not to the guardian, because it doesn't belong to him. He's only watching it, right? It has to be paid double to the owner of the object. Next, we're going to continue, because it's a continuous idea. Zion. But what happens if you don't find the thief? Banikra Baal Habayis, so he will be brought near the owner, the owner of the house that is the guardian of the whatchamacallit, of the object, right? El Elohim, to the judges. It's not God's name over here, right? It's God's. We use God's name as in judges. As in God's judgment, but here it means actual judges in a court. If he did not send his hand, meaning to use the thing that he's supposed to watch, but in doing some kind of work of his friend's property, in other words.
Judges make him swear.
Yeah, he has to swear. Right. Well, yeah, that's not what the verse says. That's not what the words say. Rashi will tell us that, right? That's why, when I give it an exact translation, then you appreciate what Rashi is coming to say, right? Because it doesn't say the word swear over here. From the Pshuta Shamikra, that's what it means. So Rashi in 7, if you don't find the thief, so this guardian, who's the owner of the house, that's who it's referring to. I said that, but in the verse, it's not clear. It just says balabayis. It says the house owner. Well, both of them are house owners, right? But from the context, we understand that it means this person, right? V'nikrav, and he shall approach, come close, eladayanim, to the judges, ladun imzeh, to contend, right? Because he's making a claim against him. In other words, the guardian, he says it was stolen. Well, how does the owner of the object know it was stolen? It's only because of his words. So now he's bringing him to court because a thief wasn't found. And therefore, and what is he swearing? That he did not tamper with his property. He didn't use his property. So it's an interesting idea over here. We learn from this. By the way, we learned this in Rambam not long ago, because if he would have used it, then that would make him responsible for even it being stolen, right? We're speaking here about a shemer chinam, It's interesting. Rashi doesn't tell us Shem Mechinim because I don't think we know yet. Shem Mechinim means he's a guardian for no money being made from it, right? He's not being paid for watching. Yeah, it's a neighbor. Yeah, you went away for the holidays and you had an expensive candelabra and you gave it to your friend to watch it for you, and he said it was stolen, and you didn't find the thief. So now he has to take an oath that it was in fact stolen. And if in fact it was stolen, that means he wouldn't be responsible. That's the inference over here. But at this point, we don't know what kind of guardian this is, it seems, because Rashi doesn't tell us. I'm telling you what it is. So we learned Rambam. Right. But if this guardian who used the candelabra, and let's say it was given, it was given to guard it, not to use it. If you gave it to your neighbor and said, use it, gesundheit, that's a different story. But if it was given just to guard and you're not getting paid for it and you used it, that's you're not allowed to. That makes you now responsible for the theft. And that's why the swearing over here is that you didn't use it. That's what it means, b'malechas re'ehu. Shaloi shilach yodo, then you didn't send your hand, meaning you didn't use the thing that you were guardian of. Al kol dvar pesha. Now we're going into, okay, we'll see. Remember, Al kol dvar pesha, on any, pesha means, it says dishonesty over here. That means more like sinful. Anything that's sinful, al shor, whether it's an ox, a chamor, donkey, al seh, on sheep, al salma, or on a garment. Al kol aveda. Now, interesting. Any lost object, then a person will say, ki hu zeh, that this is it. What do you mean that this is it? Meaning that this is, okay. Ad Elohim Yavai. They have Ad Elohim Yavai. They come to the judges. Dvar Shneim. This matter that's between the two of them. Asher Yishun Elohim Shalom Shnayim L'Reyehu. So then, this is this guilty. The party whom the judges find guilty must pay double. Must pay double. Okay, let's see what's talking about here. Rashi. I'll call the bar pesha on any sinful word. Actually, a little more of a literal translation. Well, so what's the sinful word over here? So Rashi says, because he took an oath and he lied in his oath. Right? He lied in his oath. That the witness testified that he stole it himself. So we're speaking about the guardian over here. Witness came and said he stole it. That's how we know that it's a sinful word. The Elohim al pi edim, and now the judges convict him because of the words of the witnesses. Shnayim yishalem shnayim l'reyo. So now he has to pay double. So now what does the verse teach us over here? When someone makes a claim when it's an article entrusted in someone else's care, nignav heimenu, he's saying the plaintiff is saying that it was stolen from him. Right, it's his article that he gave to his friend to watch, and it was stolen. And then in the end, the guardian says it was stolen from him, right? And afterwards, you find out that he stole it himself. What we see over here, you have to pay double. And when is this? This is only when you swore that the article was stolen from you, and in the end, we find out that it wasn't stolen. You stole it. Then afterwards came witnesses and testified that this person who was the guardian stole it himself. And this is what our sages and how they understood the verse. Nikra balabais Elohim, that the householder approaches the judges. Kri vazu shvua. So interesting. So our sages say, what does it mean come close? Well, you have to say come close. It means this approaching, coming close, means an oath. That's an oath. That's what it, right? Ata emer l'shvua. So you can say with certainty that it means approaching for an oath. How do you know that? Or eina ela ledin. Maybe it's only for judgment. Now, so Rashi's questioning, right? In other words, he's saying that the word to approach, to come close to the judges means to take an oath, but maybe not. Maybe it means literally what it means, that you're coming to the judges. In other words, for a judgment in court, right? Maybe that's what it means. Shekivin Shebal Ladin, and once the guardian comes to judgment, the kafir loima nignaval, and he denies a claim against saying that it was stolen. Miyad Yischayev Kefal im bo edim shubi, that he would be subject to a double payment immediately when the witnesses come and testify that it was in his possession, even if he had not taken an oath to the effect. Aha, maybe the verse is coming to say, Pesach, you follow? But the verse is saying, interesting. It's making an argument that maybe it's just coming to court. And before you took an oath, witnesses came and said, in other words, you made a claim, the Balabas made a claim that it was stolen. He didn't take an oath yet. Witnesses came in and said, no, it wasn't stolen. You have it. We saw it in your home. But he didn't take an oath yet. So maybe you're owed double then. Maybe that's what the verse is coming to tell us, right? And when it says here that you laying hand, well, that's a good expression. Shlichus yad means laying hand, right? Because earlier it said laying hand. But there it says clearly that you have to take an oath. Just as further on in the Torah, actually it's not here, it's later on.
So he slugs it up finally.
Yeah, he's slugging it up, right? Yeah, it's going to say that you took an oath. So just like over there, you took an oath. So Afkan Shvu also here, you also took an oath.
So if he didn't take an oath, he will not owe double.
Exactly.
If they came before he took an oath and they said, we saw it in your house,
Then you just, I guess, return the object.
Right.
Because look in number 10, it says Shvuas Hashem tiyeh bein shneim, that the oath of God will be between the two of them. So, and it's in the context of what we're talking about over here. That's why Rashi is saying that that it means that you have to pay double only if you took the oath. Because our verse doesn't say oath again, remember. That's why when I translated, trying to give the literal translation, otherwise, the way that you see here on Chabad.org and other places, they're giving you with Rashi already. But by the way, when they're giving you with Rashi, they're not giving it to you in bold. Right? Which is, then an indicator, the distinction. Okay. Ashayemar ki huzeh. Now, what is it? About which he said that it is this. What does that mean? The Fipshuta, according to the simple meaning, what does that mean? Asher yemar ha'ed. Aha. Okay. Again, right? The literal translation it doesn't make sense. I didn't understand it when I was just saying it literally. So Rashi says it means that the witnesses is saying that this thing that you swore about, like it connects it now, right? This. What's the this? You swore, right? Nikrav means swearing, right? Approaching the court doesn't mean literally approaching. It means you swore. And this that you swore, right? Meaning that you made a claim that it was stolen. No, it's in your possession. So in this case, the judges will come both their claims, and they'll examine the witnesses. Second, and the verse right? And the verse continues until the judges, they will come. Dvar Shneim, the matter of the both of them. What does that mean? Others, this matter needs now, it has to come to the judges. What do you mean comes to the judges? They just said witness on it. It means that they will now do chakira. they will now do chakira drisha. They will examine.
Cross-examine.
They will cross-examine. How do you know that they cross-examine? Because that's what the verse continues to say. Wow. Others, maybe you just accept their, no, but the verse says to cross-examine. To see if the witnesses are valid. And the judge will convict this guardian as a result, and he has to pay double to the owner. But what happens if they will convict the witnesses? Wow, we just finished yesterday in Rambam. We just finished the laws of witnesses, right? We just finished it, and we finished also with the laws of Zaimimim, right? Laws of those who are lying witnesses. Shenimtza Zaimim, that they were Zaimimim, they were lying witnesses. Yishalmohem Shnayim L'Shemer, they will pay double to the guardian. Where does Rashi get this from here? Aha. You know how he gets it? Because it doesn't say who's guilty over here, right? Look at the verse. Look at verse 8. It says, Dvar Shneim, the thing will come to the judges, Asher Yashion, Elohim Yishalm Shnayim L'Reo. And that which they are guilty, that the judges will find guilty, they will pay double to their friend. Who's the guilty? It's two possibilities. Two possibilities. Either the guardian, and he'll pay double, or the witnesses, and they will pay double. Wow. Very.
What did the witnesses come to say?
They came to say that the guardian, that it wasn't stolen. He has it in his property. He has it. We saw it yesterday, the candelabra. We saw that he has the candelabra.
And then they're proved to be Zayimim?
No.
So what?
No.
Adam Zayimim.
No. Again, what it's, look at the verse in 8.
Understood what you said.
No, you see, it's open-ended, right? The judges will find the guilty party, and the guilty party has to pay double.
Right.
Well, okay, so so it gets two possibilities of guilty parties here. Since the verse doesn't say who's guilty, so Rashi is explaining that it's two possibilities the verse is saying. Either it's the guardian and he pays double, or it's the witnesses who are found lying witnesses and they will pay double.
I'm trying to understand language.
Because the witness, because remember, Nikra Vela, no, because remember previously, because we have to go previously in the verse. Previously in the verse is that Nikra Vela Lehim, that they will approach the court, and Rashi explained the approach doesn't mean approach. It means they took an oath. It can't mean approach, because if it meant to only approach, then that would mean that without an oath, they would have to pay double if witnesses came. And that's not the case, because later on we see in verse 10, in 2 verses from now, we see that they took an oath, that the guardian took an oath. So therefore, in context over here, it means he took an oath, right? And then, and therefore, Nikrav means that took an oath, and then witnesses came and said their testimony, right? And now the judges judged accordingly. But who's guilty? They didn't say who's guilty. Two possibilities of guilty. That's what Rashi is explaining. Wow. Thank you, folks, for being here so I could get this clear for myself. I don't know if you got it clear, but I have clarity in this that I've never gotten before. You follow, Pesach?
Like mother. Go on.
Okay. Now, the sages, they said, Ki huzeh, right? Ki huzeh was till now was the witnesses. That this is this. That for this is it. Right? This that you swore, they gave their testimony that, no, it's not that way. This teaches that the persons are subject to take an oath, unless he admitted part of the claim. That only such and such an amount, the rest was stolen from me. Yeah, I don't know. The first explanation, kiyuzeh, what refers to the guardian and the witnesses, right? What the guardian said, took an oath that it was stolen, and the witnesses said, no, 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 no. So it's referring to those two, right? According to the sages, the two of them refers to the guardian and the owner. So, according to the judges shall convict refers to either the guardian or the witnesses, while according to the rabbis, the sages, the guardian whom the judges will convict. Because he admitted. Oh,
I don't understand what this could conspire. I don't understand.
well, a witness can say a lie, no?
But the witness could only say against the homeowner.
Yeah.
They cannot say, they cannot defend him, so how could they be zoning him? I don't understand.
One second. If witnesses say,
They
Yankel
cannot-
said the candelabra was stolen from me. Witnesses said, what are you talking about? We were in your house Friday night and you even lit the candles
then
on
that's not
that candelabra.
conspiring. Then that's not conspiring.
No, no.
Then that's not conspiring.
No, it is conspiring because it was a lie what they said. It was a lie because they weren't there Friday night. Other witnesses came and said, what are you talking about? You weren't there Friday night. You were with us Friday night.
Right.
That's conspiring witnesses. That's called
So
conspiring
they're
witnesses.
You're saying they're conspiring with the owner,
With
not
the
conspiring
owner of
with
the article, yeah.
not with the guardian.
Right. Well, because they're giving testimony against the guardian.
Right.
Right. So conspiring against him. So the other witnesses came and said, no, what are you talking? You weren't Friday night at Yankel's. You were Friday night with us.
Right.
They're Adim Zimmerman based on that, right?
Right. They couldn't have been there at that time.
Exactly. So that's the case we're talking about. So that's the first explanation. Second explanation is not that way. It's that the homeowner who was the guardian, it wasn't a candelabra, is not a good example. He gave him or maybe gave him two candelabras and he said one was stolen.
Right.
And one was stolen.
Okay,
So that's
yeah.
a meidim mixas. So he's taking the oath, not the witnesses. And kiyuzeh means that this is it. Like, this is it. Half of it was stolen. One candelabra was stolen. And here's the other one. Like, here's the other one. That's what the kiyuzeh means. Like, here's one. So this is it. This is all I got. The other one was stolen.
Mhm.
So he's admitting half, and therefore he has to take an oath. And then witnesses came and said, no, the other one you also have. But it's not even referring to that. Wow. Is this heavy duty stuff or what? Okay. But getting this for the first time, well. Okay, number 9. Ki iteni ish el reyehu chamor, when he will give a person, a man, literally, right? El reyehu, to his friend, chamor, a donkey or shore or an ox. Interesting how sometimes it mixes usually first is ox and then donkey. Here it's the other way around. I don't think it means, it's not something we're actually going to pick up on. I just picked up on it just out of interest. A seh or a she, v'chol behema, or any animal, lishmor, to guard it. And it died. Or nishbar, or it got broken, which means maimed, right? Oy nishba. Now you see Rashi says over here in the translation, this is naturally died or fatally maimed, right? By a wild beast. Those are not, that's going to be in Rashi. That's not in the verse. So be careful. Or nishba, or it was robbed. Ein raya, and there's no witnesses. Okay, let's see Rashi. So he gave to your friend a donkey or an ox. So now Rashi tells us. Why? Because before it wasn't clear until this now, because we're going into a different category, a different passage. He says the preceding passage is we're speaking about an unpaid guardian. I told you that because from Rambam I knew. Right, the fikach pater by al geneva. That's why the Torah exempt the person from theft. Right, if there was stolen, he wouldn't have been responsible because he's a unpaid guardian. It says it was stolen from the house of the guardian. That the thief is not found. So the householder then approaches the judges for an oath. What does that teach you? Then why is he taking an oath? Why would the guardian take an oath? To exempt himself, that what I'm saying is true, that it was stolen. Right? So, which means we're speaking about a case of an unpaid guardian where he is exempt when the article was stolen from his house. Right? But now we're going into a paid guardian. And therefore, since he's a paid guardian, it means he has to watch it more carefully, and he's not exempt if it was stolen. As the verse will say, the verse is going to say in verse 11, we're in verse 9, it's going to say that if it was stolen from him, you have to pay. Previously, you didn't have to pay. Now you do have to pay because this is speaking about a paid guardian. Remember, this is not clearly said in the verse. Rashi's explaining this to us, right? So don't think you understood it when you got the translation. But by accident, that it died by itself, or nishbar, or was injured, which is what our verse is speaking about, or nishba, or it was seized, forcibly by bandits, and there's no witnesses. Now he has to testify. There's no witnesses to this. He has to testify, and as a result of his testimony, he will be exempt. Psh. Okay, we're going to continue this afterwards because now is time for Tanya, but we're going to continue this. I mean, for all of us, I'm sure that this is remarkable to be able, to get clarity over here. Wow. We have 25 people in this class right now. That's amazing. That is beautiful. So we're going to come back to it. So don't go away. I mean, we're going to go to Tanya now because we're going to have more people coming. All right.